Hey guys, happy Thursday everybody. So today is just a flower work day for me. So that's why I don't really have much going on here. But I had a few minutes before my business partner is coming over with all of those flowers to be able to do a quick update video on my little eyebrow project that I have going on. And what I've been doing is I have been using the just a generic for Rogain, basically, to try to regrow my eyebrows. And the active ingredient in Rogain is minoxidil. So I went to Target and I purchased the minoxidil topical solution 5% from the Up and Up brand. This was about $10. And yes, this does say that it is specifically for men. So you're reading that correctly. In my research, it was stated that, the 2.5% solution, which is geared towards women, really isn't strong enough for this to be able to work on your eyebrows. So I just kind of went for it. Let me give you my disclaimer before I even get into what this is doing for me. I'm not suggesting that anybody else try this. Do your research, see if this is something that you want to risk. There are a couple of side effects, and obviously you need to keep this away from your eyeballs. If you are at all clumsy, don't attempt this. Just don't do it. You cannot get this stuff in your eyes. I cannot stress that enough. So if you're clumsy, don't even start using this stuff. If you start to have any kind of reaction in terms of like rashes, bumps, hives, whatever kind of adverse reaction, stop using it. And, really kind of think about, have you tried everything else that is out there? Something else may work for you before you have to resort to this. For me, I have tried everything that I can think of to try to regrow my brows. To give you a little bit of background history on my eyebrows, you can see that they are pretty thin. I do have them filled in a little bit right now with some just MAC Omega eyeshadow. I have to fill in my brows every single day because for those of you that have seen my Get Ready With Me videos, you know that my brows are virtually non-existent. And when I don't fill them in, it looks weird because I have a pretty big round face to start with. And to not have fuller brows on this big of a face just looks weird. So I'm even not happy with the way that they look when I fill them in because I can't fill them in too much because it just doesn't look real. Even using short strokes with like a pencil type product or a crayon type product or even like a felt type product doesn't look realistic up close. So I try as much as possible to stay within the natural brow hairs that I have left. So this to me is too thin and I don't like it. So I'm really actually looking to regrow my brows. The problem was that when I was in 7th grade, I started plucking my eyebrows because way back in like 1992, it was awesome to just pluck the living daylights out of your eyebrows and to just not really have eyebrows and then to just color them into, with whatever shape that you wanted to. So that started this whole downward spiral of like over plucking on basically a daily basis. I would wake up every morning and if I even saw a stray hair, I would have to pluck it. Like there was just no way to not do it. I almost became addicted to it. And after years and years of doing this, my eyebrows just are not growing back. Like I said, I've tried a million things and nothing has worked to actually regrow my brows. So this was kind of a last-ditch effort on my part to see if something would do it. I have looked into tattooing my eyebrows. I just don't trust that somebody is going to do a good enough job. Getting a tattoo on your face is a serious commitment, and I just don't know that there are that many good people in my area that do it that I would trust. And I've seen some bad eyebrow tattoos, so that just makes me really, really nervous. So, anyway, this is kind of, like I said, my last-ditch effort. So, with that background information, let me get into what this is doing for me. So, in terms of how I use it, this bottle is a little bit of a pain in the butt to open. But so you get a dropper in here. You can see the little, I basically just put 2 drops onto a Q-tip, and then I run that through my brow area, anywhere where I want the hair to regrow. And I do that on both sides. So I do get 1 more drop onto here before I go onto the other side. And then I toss this Q-tip and I let it dry, and then I go to bed. So I have only been using this once a day at night when I go to bed. I have missed a couple of days because sometimes I am so exhausted after coming home from weddings or working on flowers that I just don't have the energy to wash my face and do this. So I always wash my face. That's always the must. But I have missed a couple of days here and there. And I've been using it, I don't know, has it been like about 2.5 weeks, something like that. So fairly consistently. And it's easy. I mean, it literally just takes a minute. It's not something that's difficult. I don't completely saturate that Q-tip because, like I said, I don't want anything to drip into my eyes. Like, that is the one thing. I also have been taking the time to, like, you know, in the morning, brush through my brows a little bit. And what that is supposed to do, it is just supposed to stimulate your follicles a little bit more. What this also helps to do is it helps with one of these side effects that I've been having, which is this has been drying out the area where I am applying it. So I have some dry patches in my eyebrows now. It's not terrible. It's not something that you can readily see. I mean, like, I'm pretty close to the camera right now. It's just something when you get very close, you can see like some flakiness. So the brush actually helps to like kind of rid of that flakiness. So basically this is drying out my skin on my eyebrows, but it's not bad enough to where I'm going to stop using it. If it gets much worse, absolutely I'll stop. There is a mild tingling sensation after I first apply this. It's almost like you kind of want to scratch your brow area. It's that kind of tingle, but I just sit on my hands and I just kind of suffer through it. It lasts for about 5 minutes and then it goes away. It's nothing majorly irritating. It's just kind of like annoying. So it's not a huge deal. And those are really the only side effects that I've had. I have not had excessive hair growth anywhere else on my body. I have not noticed any, you know, hair growing on my face, you know, and like I said, I am very careful just to keep this in the area where I want the brows to regrow. And it's totally working. Like, my hair is growing in places where it has not grown in a very long time. And I will say that it's not growing in super evenly yet. So there are some areas that seem to be taking to this a little bit more than others. But I have, you know, the more that I use it, the more I see it going kind of into the other areas and regrowing the hair there. So it is absolutely working for me, better than anything else has worked in the past. So I'm going to keep using this. Most people say that you can see results anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks after you start using it in terms of really seeing the hair like growing out. Right now I'm just in the very beginning stages, so it does look a little bit like stubble. And another thing that I have had to fight against is the urge to pluck that new growth. It is so hard for me to not go in there and just want to like rip that hair out, because in some areas, like I said, it's growing in slightly patchy where, you know, there may not be hair right before, but if it does grow in there, it's going to make a really nice line at some point. So the saving grace in that whole, you know, patchy growth is that when I use my brow powder in the morning, it helps to disguise that. So, you know, that's kind of what's helping me. When I look at my brows without the brow powder, I definitely have that intense urge to just go in and pluck all of that new growth out, because it looks kind of weird in some of the areas. So do know that your hair may not necessarily all grow in at once. And so I'm kind of going into this knowing that this is going to be a longer process, and I'm really just going to have to suck it up and not do the same thing that I've been doing for years and years and years. Oh my God, I'm 34, almost 35 years old. So I've been doing this for a very long time, literally since I was like 12 years old. So it's a horrible habit and I'm trying to break myself of it. I am still plucking the hairs that grow like way down here, but anything that is remotely near my eyebrows up here, like I don't touch those hairs. So that's really, really hard for me, but I am forcing myself to do it, and it's absolutely paying off. When I look in my magnifying mirror here, like it's so satisfying to finally see some hair growing. I've noticed it especially like here, like it's really like starting to fill in again. So I am so happy that I decided to try this. Like I said, this isn't for everybody, and there are definite side effects. You know, even on the side of the bottle, you know, it specifically says do not apply to other parts of the body, and, you know, areas can become red, inflamed, infected, irritated, or painful. So really heed the warnings and decide if this is something that you are willing to risk the side effects of. So I will continue to keep you guys updated over time and let you know what ultimately ends up happening. For those of you that watch my videos regularly, you'll be able to kind of see the progress, you know, with each video that I put out. And I will put out specific like update videos as we go along. So my hope is that in, you know, by the end of fall to actually have some real brows left to where I don't have to necessarily color them in every day. That's kind of my ultimate goal, is to just be able to like brush them and be done with it, because my natural brow color is great. Like it matches my hair perfectly, but I have to color my brows in because I just don't have very many, and I have so many bald patches within there. So anyway, that's my update for you guys. This is working. The generic seems to be just fine. Spend the money on Rogain if you want, but for whatever reason, this is just doing the exact same thing, because really what you're looking for is the active ingredient, which is minoxidil. So leave me any questions below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.